That's some lag.
Yeah.
Is it laggy?
I don't.
You okay? Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have to.
Did it seriously freeze? No.
Oh, we're
okay,
back.
there we go.
Goodness gracious.
Hey y'all, how are you doing?
So
it's
lag.
Possibly a little bit of lag. There's a little bit of lag on my end, so I'm gonna try to keep it together. Hey there, Peanuts Peppers. Hey, Misty. How are you doing? Hey, Stacy. How's everybody doing? Yeah, there for a few minutes it was like frozen. My screen was frozen, so it looked kind of weird.
Very.
So.
Yes.
How's everybody doing? Isaac, what are you doing?
What? Can you see?
I think he's trying to see if you can see his finger on the screen. You still can't. You're not in the webcam view.
It's like
there you go.
There you go.
There it is. So what has everybody been doing? Yeah. See. All right. Therefore, a little bit, I wasn't sure if we were going to go live today, but some things turned around, and so we went ahead. My husband's grandmother is kind of sick. She's been in the hospital for a little bit. They had actually, as of last night, they had scheduled her to be taken off of life support. But they decided, or after doing some things and running some more tests and stuff, they figured out that the ventilator is just helping her breathe. It is not breathing for her. So anyways, so we're here.
Yay! She didn't get super sick.
Well, she's still super sick, and she's not out of the woods yet. But at this point in time, she's still with us. So that's the biggest thing.
Yay, she didn't die.
Yes. Hey, Keith, how are you doing?
Hola.
Hey, Matt and Sarah, how are you doing? Wow, you planted over 120 tomato plants. That's a lot of plants. Yep. Actually, my dad has over 100, and I've got right now outside, I currently have, I think, 24, plus I have ones inside, and I also have some that I need to take to D over at Naturally NC, and then we have a second round of tomatoes that my dad's going to be planting in the garden by the end of June. So yeah, so I've got at least 72 downstairs. Hey there, Emma, how are you doing? Hey, Rebecca Nichols, how are you? Hey, Nathan. Yes, Spawn CS and Spawn CM. And the other Spawn is over there too. So he's just not in the picture. There's his hand.
This is how I look. It's mostly my fault.
So yeah, if I ever am not gonna go live and it's not because of internet issues, then I will post on my community page. I'll post that I'm not gonna go live. But yeah, so
What's CM stand for?
see, Cookie Master.
Ah. What about CS?
Spawn with no name.
No, my name is Hand.
Hand. Spawn
No.
hand. Spawn hand.
You're Isaac.
Spawn hand.
You use the command spawn hand.
Well, I'm not that anymore.
Oh wow,
because-
that's awesome, Emma. Your video is about to hit 12,000 views. That is awesome.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I
I'm so happy for you.
I'm responsible now. I bought my own stuff.
Congratulations, you bought some very nasty
Bought some
junk food.
groceries.
He,
Ooh.
he bought, okay, so he had some money from where they worked our church's barbecue back before everything started being shut down. And so he went out and bought a bunch of junk, basically junk food.
I bought Takis, Fritos, and donuts.
Yeah.
And before that, I bought honey buns, Swiss rolls, and cinnamon rolls.
Because, you know,
It's his money, so I let him buy it.
What else am I supposed to buy?
Responsibility.
What else am I supposed to buy?
Save up for a bike.
Mm-hmm. They've been wanting.
Yeah.
Those things are $200. You think I have that kind of money?
Samson Farms
Hand.
said spawn puppeteer.
Puppeteer, yes.
The only thing I can puppeteer right now is this Coke bottle. Of which I am now taking the cap off of.
And which now I'm drinking the blood of.
Yeah, so for those of you who weren't here whenever I said that Takis, I just about didn't go live because of my husband's grandmother. They had been talking about taking her off life support today, and they decided that after tests and stuff that they were going to be able to try to save her. So we still don't know. She's still not out of the woods, but at least there's hope. So she's in California and we're here, so we rely on other people to give us the information. And so we are literally across the country. We're in middle of North Carolina and they're in LA. So
It's a bit
anyways,
difficult to.
Hey, Mama Z.
But yeah, I know. I almost forgot today was Tuesday as well.
Yeah, we went shopping around like what, 11?
So I was basically just saying that I almost didn't go live, but if I ever am not going to go live, I will put an announcement in the community tab saying that I'm not going to go live. So, so at this point, we are good to go. We were busy earlier today before we found out all of that. We were outside and I was able to get my squash and zucchini, and I got my most of my pumpkins and most of my watermelons. I still have a few watermelons left to plant, but they are actually planted outside. And it is really okay. So today was the only day this week that it's not supposed to rain, and it even rained a little bit here at my house. So
Not a little bit, a lot of it.
it didn't rain a lot here today. It did just a little bit today, but it's supposed to rain the rest of this week. So it rained all week last week, and it is supposed to rain all week this week. So I was trying really hard to get stuff in the ground. I'm going to be doing an update video on my garden. I'll try to get that put out tomorrow. If not tomorrow, I'll do it on Thursday. But I have a lot of stuff that's growing, that's really starting to fill in. And my nasturtium area where I had where I'd planted in my flower bed, it is almost completely covered with nasturtium at this point. So I'm really excited. What?
Can you put sideways this, please? I have no idea what she's talking
Okay.
about.
Okay, it says, all right. She said, now that you're making the big bucks, she's talking to you, you should have a plan for it. We do the 10-10-80 plan, 10% tithe. So 10% of $30 would be $3, right? All right, so 10% tithe, 10% savings for larger purchase, so that would be $3 there, and 80% for whatever you want.
What is tithe?
Like whenever you give money to church, that's tithes and offerings. You know?
Nice.
Hey there, Mark at Arkansas Woodcutter. How you doing? Oh, you're building a new rabbit cage. Well, come and build one for me too.
There's plenty of rabbits here.
Actually, no, we need rabbits.
Wish we had a rabbit.
Lemonhead boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lemonhead boys. That's
Spawn
nice.
Lemonhead boys. Hey, my land is his land. How you doing? Yes, I know. Raining here every day. So
Like a rainforest.
it is, yeah. It's like a jungle out there. I actually had taken in a lot of my plants that were still not planted out in their spaces yet. So anything that was not in grow bags or in the ground, I had brought them back inside, because what was happening is the trays that they were in were filling up with water, and I would have to go out and empty them out every day. And it's really not sunny or anything, so I just brought them inside so they didn't drown, because I didn't want drowned plants. So I'm going to have to, I guess, wait until after this week to put the rest of them outside. Okay, you can stop eating Takis.
The crunch is annoying. The crunch is annoying me.
He's over there eating Takis.
Yes.
It sounds like shoveling gravel.
Yes. Constantly. At a 1 second rate.
So Mark said, I'm good. I'm filming it. You can build your own. I hope I never build enough. I hear you. I am not very good at building things.
I love the build.
Okay.
Build you mouth.
So I'm good at putting things together that are already like the holes are lined up and all that kind of stuff. So prefab stuff. Or like, for example, I had to take apart my chairs so that I could reupholster them. I can reupholster my kitchen chairs and stuff like that. I can do that kind of
Building
thing.
stuff straight up with no instructions.
But yes, building stuff from scratch, you can forget it.
Maybe us three boys.
I might try my hand at it, but I'm scared of what it'll turn out to be.
It could be a bird or a taco.
Yes.
So,
It could turn out to be.
I'm not
Or
sure.
a rocket.
Or a the head of a bird and the body of a taco.
So I am going to try to build a hutch / cage for some quail, because I think that we are going to
you're not
start
gonna
with
build
Well, you
quail.
have us.
No, you're not gonna build it. We're gonna build it. And you're just gonna film it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm scared about that too.
We're gonna hammer one of the nails into our thumbs and be like,
So-
Mom, I got a scrape.
So yeah, so I am going to try to do that. I'm going to try to start with quail, because they're pretty quiet and stuff. So
And they're delicious.
Well.
so we'll see.
I hope.
We'll see how that goes. If you don't have enough to share with the whole, that's right, exactly. If you don't have enough to share with the whole live stream,
Then don't eat it.
Well, how many do you have here? 14 people. Yeah, you got enough.
I got enough. I have 2 bags.
They
Okay,
only
but you'll
three.
have to send the bags full and
So
packages to them.
thank you so much, Dave. How you doing? He said evening. I'll just stop in by to say hello.
Hi, guys.
Arkansas Woodcutter says, yes, the Lemonhead gang could do it while you make tacos.
Wood tacos. Wouldn't that be delicious?
Baracco. 25 quail chicks currently, just saying. See, I told you. Yeah, I told you I was going to have to get some from you. Yeah, I'm serious. I am going to have to do that, but I need to make sure before I commit to having any, I need to have a place for them to live first. I'm just not going to be one of those that buys the chicks and then says, "Oh, I've got to build something for them to live in." So
You want to have something for them to live in.
yeah, I want to have something for them to live in before I
Actually get
anything. Yeah,
Because then at least you'll be prepared.
Yeah.
It's better.
Which is why I haven't said, "Hey Nathan, I need quail."
Which is why.
Hey, Nathan.
It's better to
We
say
need quail.
Why aren't 2 bags enough? I have 2 bags over here. Why? There
Because
enough.
he likes Takis.
He loves Takis.
Just takes practice. Can't get better at it if you don't practice. Mm-hmm.
Go build yourself a birdhouse, Mom. That's
No,
good
that's
practice.
okay.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Just put the quail in our
Uh-huh.
room and then put us in the basement.
What?
Yeah, there you go.
I'd
Do that.
rather live in the basement. I remember that Amanda said that she used to have.
Oh wait, no. Make
They
it.
don't wanna
We'll
live
make
in
it
the
a boy
basement.
cave. It'd be like our storage room. Bang.
Okay, Nathan, this is your fault.
The boy cave. Don't come down there.
No, not a boy cave.
Okay,
bro
well,
cave.
that is also where I have my grow lights and stuff. Of course, if y'all are downstairs, then I can.
Force us to water your plants.
Then I can bring all the plant stuff up here, and I won't have to keep going downstairs for that.
Yes.
So that's a good idea.
Or you could force us to water your plants.
Yes.
I can do that anyway.
Hello, North Star Prep Center.
Oh
Prep
God, my
Center.
ears. Hi, North Star Prep Center. I'm so tired.
Effort.
Isaac's over here going, effort, Nick, effort.
Hi, North Star Prep Center. Fine. Oh, my hand.
It's good enough.
Where's my hand?
Winners weekend.
So one of the things, yes, energy. It's because, we've been stuck inside with the rain for a week, and it's going to be at least another week of rain. So
That's what I've been eating.
Who doesn't love rain?
that's why it's the energy level it is today.
Oh, and don't forget
Small. Evan's got the corona.
No, he does not. Don't say that.
Oh, I just been eating Takis. And then I drank water. And that did not go well.
That's what happens when you don't get anything.
I can't see what she says.
It says, "What's up, Lemon?"
Yes, it takes forever to film and build. Yeah. Oh, I know. Trust me. Whenever I'm trying to film something, it takes me forever. It takes me probably twice as long to do something while I'm filming as it does just doing it. So I can understand that.
Yeah.
Radishes are popping up. That's awesome. Oh, cool. So I also have my corn that I planted over in my flower bed area on the end near where the squash and zucchini and pumpkins and stuff are gonna go has started coming up. So I'm really excited about it. At first I wasn't sure what was going to happen because I kept seeing squirrels out there, but whenever I would go out there, there was no holes or anything dug up. But something was trying to pull them up because I saw some seedlings that were kind of laying on their side. But this was after I saw, like, past the time whenever I saw the squirrels. So I don't know if that was that or if it was a bird. But anyways, something was trying to pull up the corn kernels. But I still have a pretty decent, like, little stand so far. They're little. They're only about an inch tall.
Let me go get Isaac.
Oh, because Kathy said something.
How was the cake?
Yes.
Isaac.
And Kathy, the cake was really good.
The cake was amazing.
Yeah.
What cake was that?
It didn't last very long. There's still a little bit left, but not much.
Isaac, can I ask you a question?
All the boys.
I can answer your question. It was good. Honestly, it was
Awesome,
It was too
Nathan.
good.
That's great.
That is how you to perfectly describe it. It was too good.
It was too good.
It was too good to be here at all, period. So we had to eat it.
Yeah, they have it almost devoured. So evidently they liked it. In fact, which one was it? Was it you, Evan?
Yeah.
I think Evan's the one who said that it tasted just like my mom's, and I was like, well, it's her recipe.
I said that too.
So
It did taste like grandma's, didn't it?
yeah, it's her recipe.
I didn't think about it until now that you said it.
Yeah, my mom makes it all the time, so it's really easy to make and it's really quick. It takes longer to explain how to do it than it does to just do it.
Just do it, you know.
So it's really easy. Sorry,
What's
my
wrong?
dog.
Yes, the dog.
Yes, I was trying to figure out what she was doing. So Nathan said his peas, squash, and zucchini are popping up, which I have. My squash and zucchini are out in my grow bags. My okra, though, is coming up. I have little seedlings. I don't see leaves yet, just the little, like, it's starting to come up.
Apparently, dogs do not like Takis.
Well, no, don't try to give her Takis.
What is that?
What's what?
Why is that? It eliminates something that Kathy wrote.
Oh,
I don't know what you did, Kathy, but thank you.
Oh, she was putting my Teespring merchandise there.
You still haven't made the spawn shirts,
Dang.
have you?
The what?
Mama, you
Ooh,
have
homemade Boston cream pie.
Oh, heck.
Mama,
Yum.
Spawn shirts yet?
What?
Nathan,
Never mind, Evan.
what were you saying?
Have you made the spawn shirts yet?
No, I haven't.
Still a work in progress.
Nathan.
What?
He's trolling.
Mm.
That's all.
Grandma's
He said,
taste.
I'm not sure what grandma's tastes like that. Because I said that the cake tastes like grandma's. So, you know, Nathan always has to be literal.
Make the cake, Nathan, and then you'll know what grandma's tastes like.
Yeah, that tastes like gingerbread.
Grandma's cake, not grandma's.
Tastes like gingerbread.
It doesn't taste like
Coconut and
gingerbread.
walnut.
I can taste the
It
ginger.
tastes like, no, there was no ginger in
There
it.
wasn't?
No, it's nutmeg
Ugh,
and
what am I
cinnamon.
thinking?
I don't know. You were thinking it tastes like a spice cake.
I was thinking it tasted like ginger for a little bit. Because Evan was saying it.
Because your taste buds are not fully
Tasted
formed.
like ginger.
So Rebecca said, I made a 7-layer apple spice cake with caramel apples between the layer and a maple frosting. Ooh,
Dang.
that sounds good.
Fierce.
I
want to get to that kind of level of baking.
So another thing that's going on here is my tomato plants, since it's been raining, they are getting big, and I haven't put any more dirt around them, and I've got to do that. so
We'll probably
But
do it
I'm-
tomorrow.
Huh?
We can probably do it tomorrow.
Well, if there's any time where it's not raining, then yes, we'll have to get that done. So I still have to do that. And then once we get the dirt around them and stuff, then we have to move them. I moved a lot of grow bags off to the side where I did the pumpkins and the squash and watermelon. So these tomato plants will go in over here. So I've got to move grow bags and stuff around to where I want them.
Hi, Dee.
So,
Okay.
hey Dee, how you doing? And then one of the things that I'm also going to be doing is I am in the middle of filming a sourdough. It's basically a step-by-step sourdough. I know a lot of people have done the starter videos where they do step-by-step starter video. And I kind of did that. I just kind of broke it down into day 3 through 5 or whatever. You do this amount
All right,
of
I'm
whatever.
gonna
But
actually clean
anyways,
the kitchen so you do that. I'm doing my talkies with me too.
okay.
Okay.
He wants to go clean the kitchen so he can eat his Takis. That's really the reason he's doing the kitchen.
Yeah, sure is.
Oh, goodness.
But anyway, so I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing a step-by-step on my sourdough, on where I go from taking it out of the fridge to getting it out of the oven and that kind of stuff. So I am going to be doing that. Yeah. Yep. He knows that he needs to go clean the kitchen and he wants to eat his Takis, so he's going to clean the kitchen so he can eat his Takis. But anyways, because I had seen a lot of people asking about sourdough, and I also I've been thinking about doing a question and answer type thing on sourdough. So what I think I'm going to do is whenever I do my step-by-step sourdough video, I'm going to ask for people to put questions on sourdough in the comments so that people can ask me questions, and then I'll do a question and answer.
Q&A?
Yeah, a Q&A about sourdough, because I have had quite a few people ask me about their starter and why they're having certain problems with their starter and that kind of thing. So
Isaac is older.
Isaac is, yeah. They're only 15 months apart.
Yep.
I was still nursing Isaac, and my milk supply kind of went, and I found out that the reason is because I was pregnant with that one. So
Yeah. Can they see me right here?
No.
No.
I don't know, folks. What's going on?
Yes.
We can see your head in the
you
mirror.
can see your head in the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh, right here?
No, back up.
Right
there.
We can see your head.
Face or just my head?
like you're just
Just
top of your
just
head.
right here.
What if I move on?
Still just here.
here.
Because you're short.
I'm short, but I don't care.
He's got your gene.
Well, he's just not.
No.
I mean, he's only 11.
I'm about to be taller than him.
They're crazy.
You're gonna be as tall as Mom.
I'm short. Trust me, I'm 5'2", so I used to be, at one point in time before I had issues with my spine, I was right on in between 5'3.5" and 5'4", so I was right in between. So I was almost 5'4", and now I'm 5'2". I've lost 2 inches.
And I gained a whole bunch of inches.
You botched your sourdough starter,
The what?
D. Yeah, sourdough starter is really, it seems to be finicky for some people getting it started. Once you get it started, it's really not difficult, because if you ever don't want to make bread with your sourdough starter, you can put it in the fridge and they will stay for quite a while, even though you should feed them once a week. There have been times where it's been a couple weeks where I haven't fed my starter. So,
I can't read that. It looks like S8.
it's 5'8". I used to be 5'8", carrying the boys short and that's it.
I'm the brick.
That's
I'm the
it.
biggest brick.
Hey, Allie, how are you doing? Hey, Cecilia. But anyways, whenever it comes to sourdough, like I said, the starter is what most of the time gets everybody. And getting it started, because some sourdough starter, you have to feed some sourdough starter more often than others. Everybody in the group that I was in was feeding their sourdough starter once a day. But mine was, and it was getting the hooch on top, which is the liquid. Mine was getting the hooch on top at about 12 hours. And that meant that it was really hungry and it really needed to be fed. So those are some of the questions that I am going to try to answer.
You just answered one of them.
Question and answer. I did, but I'll go over it again.
Question number 1.
Because like I said, I have had a lot of people ask me questions about it. And if your sourdough starter gets moldy, then it's real easy to start over again. It's just that it's a process, and that's the biggest thing. It's a process. But once you have your starter, once you have your starter developed enough, if you are tired of feeding it, you can just put it in the refrigerator, or you can put it in the freezer if you want to store it for long term. It'll go in the freezer. And then there are some people who have dehydrated it. So there's lots of things you can do with it once you've gotten it developed. It's just getting it developed. That's a lot of times the issue. So anyway, so those are some of the things that I'm going to talk about.
Howdy, I am here.
There's Fawn too.
Hi.
Sourdough egg sandwiches, yum. And really, to be completely honest, Matt and Sarah, I am pretty much a newbie too, but I have learned a lot from trial and error, because I'm one of those people that loves to experiment with things. So I've done a lot of that. I did a lot of experimenting in my garden last year, and I'm doing more experimenting this year. I just am one of those that likes to kind of push limits and see what happens if I do this. So, and I also have, there are some guys who, they do the sourdough. That's pretty much all they do on YouTube. And I've watched a lot of their videos, and I've even followed some of their things step by step, and it didn't work out. So you kind of have to get to where you know what works for you. Because I think that sometimes a lot of that has to do with the humidity in your area and that kind of thing, because how hot it is in your house, and there are all different factors that weigh into it. And I think that's one of the reasons that people have the issues with their sourdough and with their sourdough starter. But anyways, I'll get off that.
But anyways, Nathan, you asked how tall I was. I'm about 1 inch.
Smaller than
Yeah, 1 inch smaller than Isaac.
Rebecca, I have seen people do rice flour starters. So I do know that there are people who have recipes for gluten-free starters. They are harder to get to activate, but it is possible. So, and Emma asked, "How were your Takis?"
They were good.
Yeah, you see, he didn't last long doing much cleaning over there because he was done with what Takis he wanted to eat.
Yeah.
So now he's going to have another reason to do to work on the kitchen.
I want to go get some water.
Yes, it does, Emma. Yes, climate, humidity, all that kind of stuff does play a part in sourdough, definitely. And yes, I watch Mary's Nest. I love Mary's Nest. Hey, Rachel, how are you? She said, I really hate to cook. I love growing vegetables and eating them, but not much of a recipe person. I'm just one person, not cooking for a family makes a difference. Yes, it does make a difference. One of the things that I have done, though, in the past, if I was just cooking for myself, because when I went into the military before I met my husband, I was 29 when I went through basic training. So I lived on my own for a while. So one of the things that I did whenever I was cooking for myself was I would cook, a certain amount, and then I would, put some in the freezer so that I could take it out later and eat it. That way I wasn't eating a whole bunch of the same stuff all at one time. And so I'd have a variety of things. And then I also wouldn't have to worry about cooking as much. But I am one of those that I love to cook, so I always have. Let's see.
I have a reason for him. The reason is because of battles.
What?
So remember, I was saying that you needed to have another reason for cleaning the kitchen, and Nathan said, I have a reason for him. The reason is because battle, which is me, says so.
My reason was...
Yeah, that's pretty much the way it is around here,
My
too.
reason was because I wanted to go eat Takis because I wanted water.
No, but he's saying about cleaning the kitchen.
Oh, clean the kitchen?
Yes.
I have no other reason. I clean the kitchen.
He will clean the kitchen because I say so. Yes. That is the case.
Well, it's clean the kitchen and get a spanking, or don't have sourdough and get a spanking still.
Yes, we don't talk about corporal punishment too much on here.
Of course we don't. That's why I brought it up.
Yes, we do. We do believe in corporal punishment here.
Thank you, North Star President.
What she said.
Yeah, exactly, Rachel. She said that's what I do on weekends. I make extra and have for lunches all week and less cooking all week. Yeah. That's it's easier to do that when you're single, actually, to be honest, because you don't have as much prep work. It's hard for me at this point because there are times that I do big things and I put stuff in the freezer. Like a couple weeks ago, I made burritos. I made some that were breakfast burritos, and I made some that were bean and beef burritos, some that were potato, bean, and beef burritos, and I put them in the freezer so that we could take them out. Well, they only lasted a couple of days because I have 5, 3 boys plus my husband and then me. But so
6 actually, because the cat.
it took me a long time to prep all that.
Oh. Yeah, it's good.
It was really good though.
And I better with Takis in it.
I bought more supplies so I could do that because we really enjoyed them. Better than any that you can buy in the frozen section. Okay. Kathy said, now the whole world knows.
Well, the whole world needs to know that corporal punishment is not torture.
Okay, shush. Okay, no, none of that. That's enough.
I'm just gonna go to my quiet spot now.
Yes, my children love to just say whatever is on their minds,
Yes.
regardless. So,
Sorry, I'm very
I'm
tired.
tired. I'm very tired.
I can't imagine cooking for a family and do a ton of canning all summer, less work the rest of the year. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons that I like to can, so that it's easier. That's just like with the with all of the meat that I can. Whenever I can chicken, or I can pork, or I can beef, that kind of thing, it's so much easier just to, like, if we don't have time to cook or whatever, we can just pop it open and then dump it out into a big pot with a whole bunch of stuff and make a soup or stew or whatever. So it's just easier to do that. So a lot of prep in the summer and a lot of prep all at once, but then for quite a while you don't have to worry about it. So yeah, that's one of the reasons that I do can. It's very beneficial to me to can. So that, and if anything ever happened, and like we had a hurricane a couple of years ago come through the middle of North Carolina, and it's happened a few times, but we were without power 2 or 3 times that summer because the soil was so saturated with all the rain that we had from it, that they just started falling over, uprooting. The roots couldn't hold on to anything anymore. So we just had big, huge trees falling over, and they were taking out our it's okay, don't worry about it.
They can't see it,
No, it's
but I'm gonna get rid of it.
sorry, it's a pop-up that came up in the middle of my screen. Sorry.
Y'all can't see
But
it.
anyways, yeah, I mean, we had no power for several days, and on those instances, I could just go downstairs and I could just pop open a can of something and we could eat it. So we wouldn't have to cook it, and that is one of the biggest things for me, is just being prepared for those things. So, let's see, what am I missing?
A lot.
Shush. Spawn Cookie Master, Spawn with no name, and Spawn CS.
What is CS?
Yeah, the food's already cooked. It may not be hot, but it'll be ready to eat. Exactly. So no name hasn't developed one yet. That's right. No name has not developed one. So Isaac has not developed a name yet. Hey, Mark, the overworked gardener. How are you doing?
So yes, my name Isaac has no meaning.
Wait, no. Spawn laugh.
That's right. That's exactly.
Isaac's name means laugh, so Spawn laugh.
Actually, Isaac means he laughs.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, oh man, there goes the rain. It wasn't even supposed to rain today, but it's raining, so.
Yes. Because the weather here is rebellious.
Yeah. Corporal Punishment got a promotion. He's Sergeant Punishment.
Who's Sergeant Punishment?
Can I get a bell?
No.
Dang.
Oh, you can get Takis. Those are really deadly.
More and more people, Rachel said, locally, more and more people are gardening too this year. Local garden shops are sold out of starter plants. glad I started from. Yeah, I know. Trust me. And I got this really, really sweet care package today from Anna at Menzies Garden. She had heard that I had lost some plants for several reasons. And so I got some seeds in the mail today. So that was very sweet. I was very blessed to get those seeds. And I was really excited because there are some that I had seen them and I wanted them, but I hadn't gotten them yet. So that's really exciting.
Now you got it.
So now I do.
Is Mimsy on the line?
Yes, she is very sweet. I love Anna. No, Menzies not here. Yeah, canning is really easy. It is not difficult. Pressure canning is not difficult. There's a process that you have to go through, and there are steps that you have to take, but it's not hard. And so the biggest thing is just to make sure you're following the steps. You need to make sure you know your canner, so you follow. When you're canning, you want to make sure you're following the canner specifications as well as the food safety guidelines at the National Center for Home Food Preservation. They have you can either get there's a booklet that you can get from them. You can get the online version or you can get the printed version. The printed version is really not expensive. I think it's only $3 to $5, something like that, and it's got all the specifications and safety guidelines for canning specific foods. And the only thing whenever you're cooking a recipe, because I have seen some canning books out there that have recipes in them, and some of the recipes are not exactly correct. So you have to make sure that whenever you are looking at these recipes that are in the canning books, that you go by the ingredient that takes the longest to can. So that's how long you are going to process it. But otherwise, but that's why anytime that you get a recipe book for canning, you just need to make sure that you're processing whatever it is for the length of time that takes the longest, the ingredient that takes the longest to can.
Thank you, North Star Prep Setter.
Yes, thank you very much for putting that up there. Yes, it has been really, really crazy weather, and so it is gonna be very nice to have those seeds because I lost quite a bit of seeds because of number one, when we had the flooding, and number two, whenever we had the freeze and stuff outside. So it's just been a rough year I think there's been a lot of people who've lost a lot of seeds. So, in planting this year because of the weather or whatever. So I was very fortunate. Mine was nothing compared to some people. Anna herself lost a lot in the last hailstorm that she went through. So she does think that hers is going to bounce back, though, for the most part. But I'm sure she lost some plants. So she won't have the amount that she was planning to have. And so that's the biggest thing. But Anna's so sweet. She's super sweet. And I really appreciate her. I really appreciate her. Yes. A lot of gardens were lost due to the storms and stuff. So,
hi,
hey there, Castle Highs. How are you doing? Rachel said, made myself nuts with that freeze. I dug up plants and, oh, bless your heart. Yeah, I don't blame you. You know, I mean, if you can, then do it. There were a lot of people who couldn't, though, unfortunately. Canning or making tamales? Well, considering the fact that I haven't made tamales, probably making tamales.
You don't like tamales, do you?
I really, to be honest, I am not fond of tamales.
But I love tamales.
My husband loves them. My boys love them. I'm just not fond of masa. I'm not.
That's so cute, Mom.
So I know sacrilege, right? But really, to be completely honest, Emma, canning is easy. It really is easy. The biggest thing is finding your canner's sweet spot, and so that it holds the pressure level. That's your biggest thing, and then waiting. It's a waiting game. So. Okay, I missed something. Okay, so Mark said, guess I'm lucky that I planted 30 days pretty much after I normally do because we had a frost about 30 days after the last frost date here in Dallas. None of that made any sense. I'm going to blame it on voice to text. Oh, it made sense to me. I could understand what you were saying. You did that's great that you didn't lose anything because you planted later than you normally do. Yes, it's the masa. I'm just not fond of masa. I just am not.
The shirt does not
So.
have green there.
Yes, exactly, Rachel. You just have to pay attention and follow the rules. That's exactly right. Yeah, exactly. Canning is mostly fear-based. Okay, so what happens is, and we only have about 6 minutes before Nathan's live starts, but a big part of the fear of canning is based off of what happened, back in the 60s and 70s and maybe even earlier, where they had pressure cookers that did not have the safety features on them that today's canners have. And like, for example, I'll give you an example. Whenever my dad was a little boy, my grandmother was cooking pinto beans in a pressure cooker, and the lid blew off, and it got pinto beans everywhere on the ceiling and stuff. Okay, so that is the fear that most people have about pressure canning, is that that's going to happen. Today, that is not going to happen. And like, for example, I have on my canner, there is the little valve that goes on the front, that where it pops up, that tells you that there's enough pressure in the canner. And then on the back, there's a little rubber release valve. So it's a black rubber release valve, so that if anything were to happen and it was to get up to too high of a pressure, that would pop out and it would release the steam so that it doesn't blow up. That's the whole safety feature. That is already built into it. And so that's one of the reasons that people are so scared of them, is because they think they're going to blow up. They're not anymore. The only way that anything would happen is if, for example, you do not let the pressure come down and drop, and you try to take the lid off before the pressure comes down. Then you might have an issue. But that is user error and not following instructions. So you just need to make sure you're following the instructions on your canner, as well as food safety. So those are the two main things when you're canning. It is not difficult. Look, Stacy said, I should have booked Rachel Cobb for my photographer. She has some absolutely gorgeous photography and videos. Her like her videography of the pyramids and that kind of thing is absolutely stunning. I mean, she's got some gorgeous videos. The fear for you is botulism. Botulism is also not an issue as long as you follow the food safety guidelines on the National Center for Home Food Preservation. If you follow those to the letter, you're not going to have an issue because those are tested. Those are tested guidelines. That's one of the reasons that whenever I do my canning videos, there are some rebel canning things that I do, but I'm not going to put those on my videos. And the reason is because those are things that have not been tested. And I'm not going to show anybody to do something that's not tested, even though I may do it. But that's because for me and my family, it works. But I'm not going to tell somebody else to do it because I'm not going to have somebody else come back and say, well, she did it and I got sick. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. As long as you follow the regulations from the National Center for Home Food Preservation, and I can give you the information, I can give you the links or whatever, you're fine. You don't have to worry about that. Most of them lock. Yes, most of them lock now until the pressure is at 0. Yes, most of them do. And mine does. Mine will not allow me to take my, you can try and it will not move anywhere. It's you're right, Nathan.
Even if you like pound a 10-pound weight into it, it still doesn't come out.
Yes, Rachel, I have definitely had, I've only had 1 or 2 jars break, but sometimes they have hairline fractures that you don't even see. There can be stress fractures in the jar that you don't even see. So what? Yes, 6:59. Yes.
We're going to close up.
Yep, I do have to go so that I can make it over to Nathan's live. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, it always makes me very happy to be able to be here with you guys. And my land is his land, said so all counters go on the stove and good electric ones for counters. Okay, so whenever it comes to canners, most of them will go on the stove. There are some countertop burners that are specifically rated to be able to hold canners. And there are also some outdoor burners that you can get. But you have to look for the specifications for that. So we can go into that too. And if anybody wants, I can do a canning question and answer too. I can do that. So anyways, so I've got to run though, because so if you guys have questions or whatever, shoot me an email or find me on Facebook and I'll be happy to answer questions. And so anyways, thanks so much for being here. We'll see you later.
Kitty and Teenage Power.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.